On this episode of the Part-Timer Podcast, it's going to be a short show, but action-packed and some big news. I think you're going to like it. It involves more content. We'll talk Blackhawks and a lot of baseball, and that's about it. All right, here we go. Part-Timer Podcast, episode 15. Thanks for joining in. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Anchor, wherever you are tuning into the show, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button. If you're on Apple Podcasts, I would really, really appreciate a review, good or bad. Feedback's feedback. I also have a new feedback page on the Part-Timer Podcast website that is on my Twitter. If you feel so inclined to leave feedback, again, good or bad, and you have anonymity, because I think people are just kind of afraid to be like, hey, man, you suck, but have their name attached to it. So that's available if you want to trash me. Like I said, a short episode because... And what is this? It's a little after 11 o'clock on Sunday night. I've been kicking this back and forth, and I got to give a shout out to Duke Coughlin for doing this. He was live streaming during the XFL games, and I'm like, that is such a good idea. Why didn't I think of that? Why? Because I'm a dumbass. But here's what I'm going to do. YouTube. Yes, there is a Part-Timer Podcast YouTube channel. I'm kicking around another avenue that I'm going to talk to some of the Unwrapped Sports Network people tonight, probably tomorrow morning. They are in LA, so they got extra time. On doing that on multiple mediums, live streams around noon, 12:30 Central Time. And this is going to be like a real radio show. No commercials. Live going the whole way through. And yes, the Part-Timer Podcast phone number is available and will be open for callers. I'm so excited about this. Extremely, extremely pumped. Here's the only thing, though. No video. Here's why. Some personal stuff, I'll just explain it. Real quick. Let's just put it this way. I can't see well enough to know if I'm in the shot or not. So to avoid seeing a quarter of my face or maybe like an earlobe, we'll just go blank screen. YouTube's going to be the place to go first, and possibly Sportscaster. If you haven't heard of Sportscaster, or pretty close partner with Unwrapped Sports Network, and they allow pretty much anybody to do live streams and talk about whatever. Sportscaster, the name, obviously it's all sports related, but it's a really cool platform, and I'm excited to explore that being a possibility. And there's an app. So if you download the Sportscaster app, you don't need to log onto a browser and search for you don't have to do any of that. Just download the Sportscaster app. And once I have an account, because I don't know if this is going to work for what I want to do, but once I have an account, I'll tweet it out on the Part-Timer Podcast page at Part-Timer Pod, and you can follow it there if you download the app. I'm not sure. I'll tell you this, because I know this is like a concern that I usually have when somebody's like, hey, I'm live streaming on this. If you click the link on Twitter, like if I tweet the link out, hey, I'm live, you don't need an account. Now, the only problem is if you click on the link, it's going to bring up the page and a live stream. But if you have to answer a text or you want to scroll through Twitter while you're listening, you can't, because once you close out of the Sportscaster page, it's gone. So I'm going to work out some things. I'll have more information about that tomorrow morning. Today, Monday morning. And and just look for updates about that. I really hope that everything is working out. Obviously, there's going to be some kinks. Not a perfect show first time. It's going to be probably a dumpster fire, but I'm excited about being able to go live and having the availability of talking to people who want to call in and vent. And no, there is no. I don't believe that there is like regulations. I know for sure there's no FCC regulations because there's no airwaves, and it's a live stream. But I'm pretty sure it's like this: no holds bar, you can swear, do whatever you want, to an extent. But that's the news, and I'm really excited about that. I don't know how many times I got to say I'm excited, but yeah, that's been pretty much my entire day, is kicking around the idea and trying to work out the logistics, which is also why I was pretty non-existent during that Hawks game. I'm a live tweeter when it comes to sports, and it was pretty much nothing. To be completely honest, I really didn't watch the Blackhawks game until the third period. I started watching when Winnipeg deflected that goal in, and it was disallowed, which I have a quick clarification about that. He batted it in, he redirected it in with his elbow, or like with his arm, right? And they disallowed it. But Mike, I have a question. Do you guys remember when Andrew Shaw deflected that puck in with his head? Like, he literally head-butted the puck into the net, and that was allowed. So, like, somebody explain to me where the rule says that, like, is it shoulder down? Because I remember a long time ago, he didn't direct it in, but Keith Tkachuk took a puck off his face against the Hawks, and it went right into the net, and that was obviously allowed. But I don't really understand the rule. So if somebody can explain that to me, that'd be awesome, because I don't know. As far as this game goes, I don't know if I'm too upset. Did I think they were going to lose? No, I really didn't. I had a lot of confidence when I started watching this game. Of course, easier to have confidence when you tune in, late in the second period. But I thought that was a game that they could have come back and won. They had a lead and they blew it again. So, but Winnipeg's a good team, and Winnipeg is also a pretty tough place to play, especially when those fans get going. But, it is what it is. I'll go back to that comment that _88 Showtime, or 88 _ Showtime wanted that guy. I should know his first name. He said on Twitter a long time ago, the Blackhawks aren't bad because they're inconsistent. They're inconsistent because they're bad. And ran a poll on Twitter that's still active, by the way, so if you want to go vote on it, you can at ParttimerPod. I just simply said, are the Blackhawks done? And last time I checked, 88% said yes. I agree. I think they were done after the Boston game. I don't see enough evidence of this team being unbelievable to make a run, especially because they've set themselves back so much. You had 10 points on the line during this road trip, and you got 2. You got 2 points. Meanwhile, the teams around you have been playing much better hockey than you, and you're 6 points out of a playoff spot. Now, I know to the Homer fan, they're like, well, 6 points isn't, that's not a lot. They got 24 games left. Or what is it, 23? Yeah, 24 games left. Okay, sure. But how many games is it going to take you to win, and the teams in front of you to lose for you to make up those 6 points? You could have 4 games left and be down, and still be down 6 points. Because other teams understand the urgency and are playing well. I mean, like, I understand the belief in the Blackhawks, but I don't understand how people can't stand back for a second and go, okay, are they really good, or are they just good enough to like hang around a little bit and then they'll taper off? The latter is my answer. I also want to know where, and I know he explained this in the pregame show. They inserted a clip of Jeremy Colliton talking about this. Why wasn't Adam Boqvist, why do I say that? Why wasn't Adam Boqvist playing? You put in Slater Cuckoo? Or, I'm sorry, Nick Seeler? Like, either way, he wasn't playing. You could have used some more offense. I mean, defensive, I don't know. So, again, if somebody wants to explain that to me, I'm all ears. I won't even disagree with you. I just want to know what he said. Because you had a really good game in Calgary. You scored 8 goals. Why change it? You trying to, like, be too smart? You trying to outsmart yourself? Because it kind of seems what it's like. I understand matchups and stuff like that, but when something's working, don't change it. Don't change it. It's just another reason why I think Jeremy Colliton's one of the worst coaches in the league. He's not as bad as Jim Boylan. But, I mean, come on, dude. Like, you're not this Hall of Fame coach that's got, 30 years of coaching experience and you've seen the game. Your career got cut short. You're like 36. And I mean, I still don't think the players trust you. I don't think they do. They're done. They're sellers. Brandon Saad's going to get traded. I'm kidding. I don't know. But I think if you're looking at top trade candidates on the Blackhawks, that would give you a good return. I think you're looking at Brandon Saad. I think you're looking at possibly Eric Gustafsson, which would be nice. I think he's continuously declining, including the 4 shots that he missed the net completely at the end of the game when they were trying to tie it. Crawford, I would really like to see Crawford get traded, not because I don't like him. I'm a giant fan of Corey Crawford. But I think if you let him walk at the end of this season, you're doing yourself a disservice, and that's a bad business move. I've said it time and time again. He's not going to re-sign for less money to where you're like, okay, you're worth, coming back as a backup because Robin Lehner has to get extended. That's priority number 1 for me. Goalies are few and far between in this league, in my opinion. I think you've got a really good one in Robin Lehner. So that's priority number 1. If there's a buyer for Corey Crawford, take it. Negotiate well, of course, but I think you have to take it. Crawford, letting him walk, I mean, I think letting any player walk is tough. Like, it's tough for me to deal with and wrap my head around. But I understand, there's some, like if Slater Cuckoo wanted to walk and you couldn't get anything for him before the end of the year, then it's just saying, all right, we'll cut our losses. It's Slater Cuckoo. He's replaceable. He's another guy. But we'll see what happens. February 24th is the deadline, and I don't see how people think that Stan Bowman's going to stay pat. But we'll see. If you have any weird trade scenarios that you've kind of worked out in your head, or you have somebody that you have a team that has a lot of prospects and you think that would be a good fit, let me know on Twitter at ParttimerPod or text in 815-714-9044. And I would be interested to see what other people think. Rangers are next at home. I know what's going to happen. People are going to be like, oh, yeah, the Hawks are back, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're at home. Let's see how it goes. They've been terrible at home this year. And I really hope Hawks fans don't welcome them back with this, like, crazy cheer. They got 2 out of 10. I don't expect you to boo them. But, it's one of those things where, like, if somebody walks in, you're like, hey, what's up? Like, don't be overjoyed to see this team on home ice. They need to know what it feels like to be on the wrong end. I think there's been multiple occasions throughout the past couple years where we, as fans, send, I don't know, maybe the wrong message, or maybe we're just all diehards. I think you got to let them know. Like, kind of similar to the Chicago Bears. When fans were booing them, it was totally justified. Those fans pay large sums of money to even get into that stadium. They have a right to boo. And the players want to be, oh, well, if you don't believe in us, then that's fine. Like, we don't even listen to you. It's whatever. Okay. I'm going to leave that alone. Because at the end of the day, if I pay money, I should be able to boo you, and you should know why. I'm booing you because you're sucking right now, and I want you to play better. I'm going to cheer you when you play well, but I'm going to let you know when you're playing like shit. So I think Hawks fans need to let the team know that they're playing like shit. Simple. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's just what I think. The other concept, not really concept, the other situation I want to talk about is the continuous, it's ridiculous. I know this is not going away. The Houston Astros cheating scandal. Some things happened over the weekend, and I know you've heard so much about this, but I want to get into it a little bit. I promise it's not going to be crazy long, and that'll be the end of the episode. And then you can look for the live stream this afternoon between 12 and 12:30 on Monday. First of all, Cody Bellinger's comments were spot on, and I wrote an article for Unwrapped Sports that talks about this bubble that Major League Baseball has their players in, and it was mainly stemmed from the new playoff system that came out, and I think it's an opportunity for some constructive criticism from my point of view. I was basically saying when the playoff thing came out that the game itself isn't broken. Sure, it's a long season, but then if you shorten the season, you run into Players Association issues and stuff like that. And also, if they shorten the season, the league's going to want to pay the players less, and the Players Association, it's going to be a huge thing, and then there's probably going to be a strike. So that's a recipe for disaster. I don't think the playoff system was broken, and I just thought that was a wrong way to go about, quote-unquote, fixing the game. I think the way it's being presented, and I said this after Trevor Bauer released his comments about the release of the playoff thing, I just think that diving more into social media, investing into the Major League Baseball brand is going to be the thing that fixes the league and fixes baseball for young kids and a younger crowd, because they're not being reached. Like, you missed. The NBA spent a ton of years and money on their brand, and it's paid off. You can't go on Twitter without seeing a basketball highlight at all. I can go 6 weeks on Twitter without seeing anybody on a baseball team. It's so there's such a a matchup issue with Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NFL, and the NHL. MLB and NHL are in a league of their own as far as not being like up there on relevance on timelines. Hockey's a very I don't want to say it. Hockey's a very like cliquey fan base. Does that make sense? Like, if you like hockey, no matter what team you like, you're kind of fans. You're kind of friends. Like, you can get along because it's hockey, and we both think hockey's awesome. But that's kind of as far as it goes. I just kind of think that these MLB and NBA and NHL need to do a little bit more of investing into their brand. But what do I know, right? So I think that, back to the point, Cody Bellinger's comments were really, really good for the league and for publicity. I don't know if he's going to be fined for his comments, but he basically said Jim Crane's comments were bullshit. Altuve's his apology was fake. Carlos Correa is a schmuck. Like, it just going on and on, right? Well, I love that, and I really enjoyed Chris Bryant's take on it. He was like, "Look, man, it's super unfortunate. The only reason why they stopped is because they got caught. If they didn't get caught, they'd still be doing it, obviously. The only reason why they're sorry is because they got caught." He's like, they're going to have a tough year. He brought back the time of him getting really, really booed, like hard, in St. Louis. And he referenced that and said they're going to get booed everywhere they go. And they should. And I think if you want to twist this a certain way, I think the only good part about the Houston Astros cheating is there's a new villain. It's not the New York Yankees anymore. It's not the Boston Red Sox. It's the Houston Astros. And it's not because of their payroll. It's not because of the absurd amount of talent they have on the team. It's because they cheated. It's because they tarnished the integrity of the game, and everybody can see through their thin, it's so fake. They're thin. They're not sorry. If anyone thinks they're sorry, they're not. They're sorry that they got caught. And believe me, from a personal standpoint, I've had multiple conversations with certain people who do something and then they apologize, but they're not apologizing because they did it. They're apologizing because they got caught. This is striking a nerve with me, obviously. The Houston Astros are a disgrace. And I hope they get booed everywhere they go. And if you think that Dusty Baker saying, well, let's get in front of this, like, can we not hit my players? Bro, that's not going to happen. You're going to have issues. It might not be all season long, but players like Trevor Bauer, players like Marcus Stroman, they're coming after you. You might get 95 behind your back, 90, 98 behind your back. You might. And no one's going to feel sorry for you. I can't wait. I can't wait for this shit show of baseball. And it's good to an extent. Terrible for the game, great for business. Because I'll tell you right now, I want to watch the first time the Astros play anybody. Opening day, I'll watch the White Sox, and I'm watching the Astros. I can't wait to see what happens. The other thing I want to touch on is You know it's bad when they're pulling excuses from the depths of hell. Like, this is, well, the reason why Jose Altuve, this is from Carlos Correa. I'm paraphrasing. The reason why Jose Altuve didn't want his jersey ripped off at the end of the game because he had an unfinished collarbone tattoo that honestly looked bad. I think the word he used is terrible. All right, bro. So, not happy enough that you just hit a walk-off home run, buzz, off of Aroldis Chapman, buzz, and you're rounding the bases, buzz, and you're thinking, wow, man, this collarbone tattoo, buzz, is it's just so ugly, and I don't want my jersey ripped out because, like, I don't want people to see it, buzz, and I want to get it finished, but, like, obviously we had a game today, buzz, so I'm gonna go into the dugout, into the tunnel, buzz, and then change my jersey, buzz, into a shirt and come back out, buzz, and then do the interview. Bro, come on. You've got to be kidding me. That's the worst excuse I've ever heard in my life. That's the worst. A bad tattoo. Bro, I just had a walk-off home run, buzz, off of Aroldis Chapman, who throws 100+ miles an hour and has a disgusting slider. You think I would care about a tattoo? You know what people would say? They would be like, "Oh wow, terrible!" Like, "Oh, that tattoo looks like shit." Like on social media, "Oh, that tattoo looks like shit." And you know what I would do? I would find it. Like, I would find him and go, "I know it's fucking horrible, right? But hey, that walk off though, buzz." So that's not gonna do it for me, Correa. That's not it. It's not gonna make the team. As far as Jose Altuve goes, I mean, do you remember? I remember what he said during that interview, or maybe it was this year, but I swear it was last year. Oh no, it was this year. Sorry, I'm retracing my thoughts. So he hit a walk-off. I can't remember against who, but it was in this year's playoffs. And the reporter asked him, "Hey, Jose, no, was it? Let me explain, and you'll know when." So they're interviewing him on the field. It was for sure after a walk-off, and they were like, "Hey," the reporter was like, "Jose, how come no, like, tearing of the jersey, And he goes, "Well, I didn't want them to take off my jersey because last time my wife was mad at me." Get the fuck out, bro! Come on. Add that to the list of terrible lies. Dude, your wife is gonna be mad at you? You've got to be kidding me. Have you ever went to the beach? You ever, well, I don't know, like, worn like a tight-fitting shirt in public? Like, come on, bro. That's ridiculous. This team is a fucking joke. I just, somebody let me know where that's from, because now it's going to bother me. I mean, I swear that may have been the same time. That may have been the Chapman thing. I think it was. Who knows? Somebody does. Let me know. But I don't know, man. I do want to say that, kind of switching gears here. In the article that I posted on Interrep Sports Network, I said that a few different ways that baseball can grow is allowing their players out of this bubble that they have and following the footsteps of Trevor Bauer, and I know he's a cheater, I know, but Alex Bregman, Marcus Stroman, Tim Anderson, I don't know who's the most active on the Cubs social. Lucas Giolito is starting to be a little bit more active on social media. Tim Anderson just started a YouTube channel. That's going to be sweet. I mean, there's some players out there that are starting to dabble in social media. Maybe they're getting a little bit of leeway with the team and with the league. But that's kind of what I said. I'm like, look, these people need to be on social more. I mean, it created a buzz when Tim Anderson flipped his bat against Brad Keller and Marcus Stroman tweeted about it, and then they went back and forth on Twitter, and it ended up being like a, hey, respect, and still don't like what happened, but respect. Or something like that. I think Stroman appreciated it, but I can't remember. But it went back and forth, and it sparked some attention. And that's what this is all about, attention. Somebody who worked in marketing, it's all about attention. And Major League Baseball doesn't have much of it because they've created this centralized media. It's I'm not going to go fully into it, but they need to put the remote in the players' hands and let them go for it. You're going to have issues. It's just the cost of doing business. You don't like what players are doing? Now, I said this in the article as well. You have to create guidelines, but don't be petty with these guidelines. Like, don't fine a player for being like if they have a bad game, right? And let's say they're upset and they tweet, really tough loss, feel like shit. Don't fine them for saying shit. Like, I know that Major League Baseball is very petty, so I'm hoping that if they do create these guidelines and they do start to evolve, that those petty rules they're not in there. I understand that creating these rules, if you want to give a player a fine, he'll stop doing it. Nobody likes money being taken out of their pocket. So the MLB does a really good job of placing rules on something. I don't think they're going to have a problem enforcing whatever rules come in the future. Just don't be petty. That's all I ask. Because I want this game to grow. I am so in love with the game of baseball. I wouldn't say I'm a baseball purist. I teeter. I like some changes, but as far as like let's say they're like, in the third inning, we're gonna like make every player switch positions to keep it interesting. Like, no, what? No. So I'm a purist in the foundation, but I enjoy innovation if it's something, that I can get behind. So we'll see what happens. I know there was kind of a lot in many different directions there, but it's a mess. So there's really there's no way to go about it in an organized fashion. But again, baseball is what? What are we, 40-something days away from opening day, March 26th for the White Sox. Can't remember what the Cubs is. Should know that. But it's around the corner, man. I'm excited. I have a gripe, though. Man, the Nike jerseys are $15 extra than Majestic? What the hell? Nike's creating this, monopoly. They have MLB, they have NBA, and they have NFL. And they have, NCAA. I mean, they're all over the place. Again, what is that? Attention. That's what that is. Am I going to buy one? Probably. Just give me till the summer, and I'll pick who I want. I'm thinking Giolito. I'm thinking maybe Tim Anderson. I have a Yohan Moncada T-shirt jersey, so I'm good on that. Maybe Eloy. I don't know. I like to go pitchers because I was a pitcher, so I lean that way a lot. But we'll see. I want to get one in the summer though, for sure. I'm gonna end up paying the $134. Also, I did find out, I tweeted this last night as well, Majestic jerseys, the blank ones with nobody on the back, are $60 on Fanatics. I'm sure you can get them for the same price on like MLB Shop and the team stores, but they're $60 because I got to get rid of them now. Not sure how much it is to customize them if you want to do that, but it's a bargain. It's almost like, I think it's almost 50% off. It's crazy. They're usually $100. You can get them for $60. So that's where we're at. Majestic is down the drain. Nike's on the come up. Everybody's upset where the logo is on the jersey. And we carry on. Again, don't forget to check out the live stream. It will probably have some hiccups the first couple times, but I'll figure it out. Make sure you save the number in your phone, 815-714-9044. That's the number to call. Save it as Part-Timer Podcast. Save it as Part-Timer. Save it as Jackass. I don't care what you save it as. Just save the number and call in, and we'll talk some sports. Not just Chicago. We'll cover national sports as well, and I think that's going to be really fun. Follow on Twitter at PartTimerPod. You can send your emails, if you still use that, to parttimerpodcast@gmail.com. What else? Follow Unwrapped Sports Network at Unwrapped Sports on Twitter. They've been killing the betting world. I mean, they have been hot. Like a couple days ago, they were like 9-1. They took 2 or 3 the other day. I mean, they're winning, man. I had a 3-team hockey parlay that didn't come through. I know we haven't talked gambling in a long time. I had Vancouver, Columbus, and Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh won, Columbus won, I believe, and Vancouver lost. So I'm back even. Just to update you on like weeks and weeks of not letting you know, I'm back even because I placed a bet on the Hawks to win outright or straight up, the night before in Calgary, and they did that. So I put what I won on the parlay and lost, so I'm back even. I'll let you know if I dabble. I don't think I can take the Hawks anymore, you know? I can't bet against them because they're my team and I love them, but I can't bet on them. I have a hard time doing that. Hard time. Just a quick tip before I head out here. If you want crazy odds that have a nice payout, but you know it's something that it's going to be tough. Put money on in hockey. Put money on the first goal scorer. Like take $5 and put $1 on 5 players. So your investment's $5, right? The payout on those players is like plus 950. So you're winning $5 if somebody comes if it comes through. Obviously you run the risk, but it's gambling, right? Because I was going to do it, but it was DraftKings, and I mean, you know how Illinois is. They make everything difficult. But DraftKings had Patrick Kane plus 950 on the first goal scorer, so I can't imagine what Ryan Carpenter was, who scored the first goal. I can't imagine what he was. Maybe he was 952, but regardless, $5 to win you 5. If you're super confident, just throw like $5 on one player. That's a nice little payday. And then you lose the rest of it like the next day or on the same game. You win a lot. Or, I'm sorry, you win a little, lose a lot. It's my sports gambling saying. Again, super excited about the streaming thing. Check Twitter for updates, and hopefully you will join me on the live stream. So again, 815-714-9044 on Twitter at PartTimerPod, and on Twitter at ShySportsJosh. Personal account, tweet different things, tweet more national sports, and share articles on there as well that I've written, that the team on Unwrapped has written. So join me on the old Twitter world, and we'll connect. That's going to do it for me. The next episode will come out Wednesday, and maybe I'll have somebody on. Maybe I'll have somebody on talk White Sox, because I had Tim 815 on last week. We'll dabble in the White Sox world. Also, I know I haven't talked about the NBA All-Star Game, but that's because I didn't watch it. Okay. Before I ramble on, we'll talk to you guys Wednesday. Thanks for your interactions. Thanks for listening. Thanks for following and subscribing. Thanks for leaving a rating on Apple Podcasts. And we'll talk to you in a couple days.